yeah, I started talking about something, a coughing fit. I swear, it is certain things like that they don't want you to talk about. Like all of a sudden, where it just feels like something just attacks your throat. It's so weird. But anyway, so I'll go back to what I was talking about. um, so I was talking about like people think of like there's a God up in the sky. Like some people, I'm not gonna say every single person, but some people like that concept makes sense to them. There's an old man living in the sky and he oversees everything and he has control of everything and stuff. But really what God is an energy source. It's a source that everything that has energy comes from. So it's like a one plug-in into the universe. It's all the energy is coming from that one thing. We're all energy, so we're all coming from that source. It's doing it again. So people want to think like there's aliens don't have souls or something, or there's different gods for every place. No, it's all the same. All of the different aliens or whatever people want to think of these people, they're just, they're more sophisticated than we are in most cases. The ones that can come and travel to us are far more advanced than what we are spiritually, technologically, all of it. So they are, we're more of the scary ones in this scenario than they are. But we live in fear of what we don't know or what we don't see or what we don't understand. And since we are kept in this repressed state of being, most people are scared of every fucking thing. They're scared of their own damn shadow. But when you have like these multi-dimensional beings, then all of their souls are coming from the same source that we're coming from. That's why that they even give a shit about us, because they are connected, because we're all connected by our souls. So therefore they want to see the best for us, because that's how souls work. They want the best for each other. So they are trying to help us, but they can't step on our free will. And but we're going into this time, this graduation time, where there's going to be a lot more help that is going to be available to us. But during this time, we are making choices that are bringing us to the point where we can have that, and it's not stepping on our free will, because it's something that we want, that we have an awareness of. We want to learn from them. So we are opening up ourselves to the lessons. And they can't come down and just say, hey, you guys, you're being enslaved. And even though I was being told this stuff when I was a kid, someone was telling me, but they can't just come down here and tell us, like, you're all slaves and you need to learn and get your shit together so that you can break free and stuff. They can't tell us that. I mean, you try telling somebody right now, presently, who isn't awake, and they don't have any clue what you're talking about. So how would any of us know what they were talking about when they came and said that? Besides all of the interference that comes from the corporate industrial complex that rules this world, has already put those programmed thoughts into our head to not trust them. They're out to get us. They're dangerous. I mean, most of the time they even spend it, it's like, there's nobody out there. We're out here all alone on a spinning planet that doesn't even want us here. Trust your government. They will help you out of this. It's like, no, they just want to give you their slave. Because energy is, when say you come from source, source expands. We're going through an expansion right now. Source expands and puts out this energy, and more souls and develop. But a soul, like, you have this free energy that's around. So you have energy that has not developed into a conscious state of being yet. It's just energy. And you can tap into that energy, but also that energy kind of is kind of like little puppy dogs or something that are kind of lost. And so energy will follow you around, even if you don't have any awareness of it. And that's why you want to keep a higher vibration, because you don't want to have low vibration energy attaching to you, because it's hard to break free from it. It does hold you back. It does put in thoughts in your head to keep you down. It puts, it promotes feelings of instability and insecurity. And that's why it's important to have an awareness about energy in all states of being. Because once energy becomes more sophisticated, it becomes more, it becomes independent. It becomes its own, when your soul becomes its own independent being, then you are an independent. I'm getting mixed up because I'm thinking about what I had said earlier and trying to. So, but when you get to that state of being, so you become a soul, you go through these different lives, you go through this a part of just being energy. And that is where, like, in the very beginning of your incarnations, like, people have been rocks, like, they have, you can be a part of water, part of air. You are just a part of an energy that is out there. And as you develop more into yourself, so as a conscious energy, you become conscious of yourself and you start incarnating and you go in and you learn about yourself in different lives. So your energy becomes more of who you are, representing who you are. You become self-identifiable, separate from what you would consider God's source. You become an independent being, although you are still, it'd be like kind of like if you, I can't think of I keep thinking about like if you took off, like if you got your arm cut off or something, that your arm would still be your arm even if it wasn't attached. It would still have the same nerves, the same blood supply and stuff. So your soul is still from the same source, no matter if you become independent as a conscious being. When you become independent as a conscious being and you start to live by the God's laws, you start to see yourself differently. And that's one of the things like about here, because this is a beginning kind of school. So these concepts can seem like they don't really make sense, but as things progress, I think that they're going to make more and more sense. So as you become more of your own conscious being, and you realize, you're eternal, that you have life as a gift, so that you can go in and self-explore, so you can understand yourself, so that you can continue to expand as self. But you have all of these other energies around. Now, I don't know if I already said this or if I said it earlier before I started choking to death. But these other energies, like, they can attach to you. So they can be attracted to you, but they haven't reached a point of self-identify. They're still just kind of like free energy. But some, they could be super negative, and they could feel super negative. They carry a lot of negative, heavy, and they can attach to you. And that's why it's really hard to release them. And the more you keep your energy up, the less attachment you will have of negative energy, because the negative energy is attached to your negative charge, like whatever you're putting out there. Like I said before, if you're walking through a mall and you're pissed off and you're just putting out this really angry kind of energy, and you're going through, so the free energy that's around, that's just out there free floating, that it feels attracted to that, will attach to that. So then you have a lot harder time breaking free from those emotions, because now you've got this other energetic attachment. And that's where people start feeling like, they've got demons attached to them or whatever. It's really just an energy that doesn't really know what it is yet. It's just trying to figure out, like, well, this feels good. Well, this feels good. It takes a lot as a consciousness to become conscious of self. Like, we're watching it happen right now in real time. Consciousness is becoming conscious of itself. It's been living, but it's been living somebody else's life. It's been living through somebody else's rules. So this is that graduation where consciousness begins to accept and to take responsibility for itself, and begins to really grow and understand and want to yearn to find out, what more can I do? What more abilities do I have? And it's really cool. It's because our abilities are just the same as like when you're in a dream, because everything for consciousness is a dream, because consciousness is a state of being. It's a state of mind. There is no real, everything feels real, but that's because of what we're focused on. But it's not any more real than any other states of consciousness and dreams and stuff. Just like I've said before, you go into a dream and it can feel completely real, and then you wake up and it's like, what the hell happened? Because your consciousness was really there, really going through that experience. So all of these, the consciousness to be able to go through this expansion and to learn about itself. And then there's going to be so much more information, to help people understand about their own abilities. And that is all part of this expansion and the ascension, and this going into this other higher vibration reality. Like I said, you can't get there without doing your healing. And it's not like it's a place. I don't think it's not like we're going to go to a different place. This whole planet is going up in vibration. So when the planet goes up in vibration, nothing of low vibration would be able to exist on that planet. That's why if you are still a soul that's needing to go through more of these kind of three-dimensional life existence, it will be in other places, on other planets. And but most of the people, they may not even know. They may think that was always their life. They can't tell any difference. And I don't know that all three-dimensional realities are as horrible as this one has been, because this one has been so controlled. It's been like this prison that has been very controlled. But no matter what, every single soul that has come into here did it by its own free will. Even though if some of them got stuck here in this reincarnation recycle, initially it came in for the experiences. But it's just part of the whole manipulation. But it's all part of consciousness being able to understand itself and to grow as its own being. I don't know if this is making sense, like, to somebody. Like, I can completely understand it, and I'm trying to explain it, but yeah, the words, you can't really get. It's hard to explain some of the things with words that you can see in your head. Like when they show you stuff, you'll see. The more you start getting information that is given to you, and the more you try and explain it, it sounds like you're just like, it's hard to do to explain some of this stuff. Like, there's limitations in our language, and that's all done on purpose. That's to keep us small, and it has been used to manipulate us and to control us. And they have a whole thing with their spells and stuff with words. Like, they were setting spells. Like, if you say, I don't feel good about myself, you've just made a spell on yourself. to bind yourself to those feelings. Like, there's all sorts of stuff with this language and stuff. It's kind of creepy. But, no matter what, every soul has come here. This isn't like, you're punished or you did something wrong or God doesn't love you, so he put you in here so you go through these traumatic things. Your soul knows that this is just a dream. Your soul knows that nothing is really happening. You're just experiencing so you can learn from it. So you can witness yourself, like who you are. So you can understand yourself as a consciousness more. That's evolving yourself more as an independent consciousness. And, it can just keep going and going and going as consciousness expands and becomes more of its own self. That's where more and more universes are developed and more planets and stuff, because as consciousness, you can be anything. The planet is a conscious being. So all of these things, everything that we think about is just, it's done in such a limiting format. But when we open ourselves up to really seeing things and seeing through the illusion, then you see really how vast it really is and how dynamic it is to be a conscious being, and how fantastic it is to be here at this time for this, this huge moment in the changing of the ages and this huge expansion of an ascension for souls. And, the whole thing is to just really understand more about yourself. Don't live in fear. Don't think that something can hurt you. You're eternal and you're just here to learn about yourself. And it's, you're always expanding. Everything is always moving and expanding. And, consciousness is, if you're at the point of understanding you're in a life and you're able to make choices and stuff, that's a huge expansion. Just from where we were a couple years ago. We're all just like living by the rules, by what we're told. It had to be, the rules had to stop making sense so we could break free. We had to start going, hey, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense, because then it snaps us out of this hypnosis, this trained state of being for consciousness. It's a dependence on this system, and breaking free from it gives you that independence to understand yourself on so many other levels. So anyways, hopefully all this makes sense. I don't know. I'm sure I'll explain it again in some other kind of format, because it's, I'm just going to keep trying to explain it so people can understand. And then I know there's, some people who've been watching me and they're like, oh God, she's going to talk about this again. But there is always new people coming. And I don't think, new people go back and start listening to everything I've been talking about. I mean, they may, but I got to keep kind of repeating some of the stuff. So, because the stuff I'm talking about is the stuff they want me to talk about. They want people to understand this stuff. So anyways, I'm going to go let Stella in, and, I'll keep talking about it. Somebody said the other day, don't go anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. The only way I'm going to go anywhere is if they kick me off, and I'll find another platform. But I think we're getting close enough to everything switching, the boomerang, everything going the other direction. I think we're getting close. So, I think that there's going to be a lot more of people who are out there trying to figure out, like, what's the truth in this world of lies. So anyways, I'll be back, I'm not going to probably be back right quick, but I will talk to you later. Bye.